Recording is on.
Take it from the top, Adi.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so it seems that something is working. So welcome to this meeting. I will try to share with you the little knowledge I have on the API. We will discuss about RESTful API. I will also give you some documentation. I will give you. I will show you some examples which I used to learn the API. I only work with RESTful API, which are some, let's say, IT components used to communicate between applications. RESTful API comes, REST APIs actually comes from RESTful API. You will have a lot of information here on the Postman. So as a client for API, let me know. I haven't shared the screen, right?
Yep, you haven't.
Okay, just a second. Mhm. Please let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, fine. So you can see my screen. That's perfect. So we will talk a little bit about the RESTful API. Actually, is the only type of APIs I work with, and as a client for it, I work with Postman. I don't know, but maybe all of you heard about Postman. It works very well with RESTful APIs. I also have site for site. It's still from Postman. It's a list of APIs which are working for testing purposes. You can use it for doing tests, for checking how they are working, and so on. So also here for Postman, there is a lot of documentation. I will post the links in the channel, and of course there are a lot of things to learn. There is very much information here, but from my point of view is quite well structured, so I think you can also check it and try to use it. So for the APIs, the first step would be to install Postman. Postman is a client which I've used in the past. I think I can have it from here. So first of all, you will have to sign up. It's free. It's not a problem. And then you will have to download the application. The application is something simple from my point of view. I will open it now and I will show you how it looks like. Interesting. Something went wrong. That's nice. I don't know why. I'll check again.
Recording is on.
Okay, so it seems that it will start. Okay, so this is the interface of the application. Of course, if you will create an account, you will be logged in and you will see exactly like I see here. For the APIs, you can use a collections. A collection is a set of APIs which consist of different type of APIs. As you know, or maybe you know, there are a lot of options to use an API. Get, post, put, patch, delete, and so on. The most useful, to say so, but the most used options are get, post, put, patch, and delete. Get is to obtain some information. Post is to create some information. Put is to update some information, but to update it with deletion. Patch is to update, and delete, you can delete any record. Uh, as you see here in collection, we have the APIs. I will give you the list. Actually, they are the ones from here. Just a second. Where is it? Here. Here is the list of the public APIs which you can use. From here, you will see that you have you have them grouped by their mean. So authentication, authorization, users, state, a lot of options. Actually, any API is an endpoint, to say so. So for example, for the sign up, you will send a post request containing the details required for signing up. For sign in, the same is post, but is just for signing in. So you will not have to send all the information like in the sign up, but you will only have to send the email and the password. So how you do this? Here, for each API, you have the endpoint. This is actually the endpoint which we will use here. Now, in the Postman, in collections, you will have the APIs. In the environments, you will have the setup. Of course, there are other options too, like monitors, flows, history of how the APIs run in the past. Monitors, by using monitors, you can ask an API to run hourly or depending on the needs, because maybe you will need to monitor an API during the night, for example, or different investigations. You can use these monitors to have it running the entire night. For example, this one is set up hourly, if I am right. This monitor, yeah, every hour. Okay, so in order to start, you will have to just to create your first API. I will use, for example, this one, get votes. Get votes is from this link. I will post it also in the channel. I suppose here is the channel and you can see it. If not, I will send an email with it. Here, for example, I did the following thing. In the environment, I set up the parameters for the API to be used. So I need the URL. I coded the URL in a variable called based URLx. And here I set it up. And in the collection, I will use the API votes, which will give me all the votes, considering the fact that I will have here the endpoint and here what I need. Votes, for example, here I will only receive the details for a specified vote by its ID. I also can post votes. Now, the structure of an API here in Postman is the following. You will have the parameters in case you will need them. For example, in get vote ID, you will need a parameter where you will send the ID of the vote you will need to retrieve from the source. In the authorization, you will see that you can use different type of authorizations. Here I inherited from the parent, but you can use it with basic authorization, token, and a lot of options. Actually, here, for example, you will see that I'm using basic authorization to log in based on the email and the password. These are the credentials from this API provider. I've created an account there, of course. And in the headers, you can have some details which you want to retrieve. In body, you will be able to, I will show you an example. In the body, for example, here you will be able to provide information in JSON format or raw or binary, depending, but JSON for me looks quite interesting. Also, you have the possibility to create scripts. The scripts are used either in pre-request or post-response. I mean, here you can use the variable postman PM, and you will see a lot of options here. I use it just to check that the API runs correctly. For example, here the script will return me this status code is 200 in case it ran correctly. Otherwise, I will have other message, and it will be an error message. And in the settings, you will just have the options to set up some specific parameters. But let's see this one. So now I will be here to get the votes. Here I will get all the votes which are already posted. Now, how it works? Once I have here set up the type of the API, which is get here, the endpoint, which is this entire URL, I will click send. Now it will take me a little bit because it will return the entire votes which have been registered. Now, as you can see, I can have it in a JSON format. I don't know. I suppose it's quite understandable, isn't it?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I don't think we see what you're showing us. We see the main screen where it's headers, body, post sign in, and example request.
Just a second to see if I share the entire screen. I'm sharing, but let me see what.
You're sharing only the browser window.
Only the browser? Okay.
Only the browser.
Okay, I will stop sharing and I will share the entire screen. Let me know if you can see it now.
Yeah, it works now.
So do you see this JSON structure here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the way the endpoint returns the results. Of course, it returns for each vote. It returns the ID, image, sub ID, whatever. It's a set of parameters which are required for each vote. The most important thing is whether the API call worked or it didn't. Here you have the result of the request processing. If you have 200, it means that the request went fine. Basically, in Postman, if it's green, it's fine. It worked fine. There are, if I remember correctly, the codes starting with 2 are the codes which means that the request was fine. 200, 201, and 202, if I'm right. If you receive some code with 3 or 4, it means that the request did not work fine. We we will give it a try to see if I can have an error code. So here in the results, we will also see that the request passed, the status code is 200, which means that it ran okay, and the response content was returned correctly. The response content can be found here in the response. So, for example, what I'm checking here in the scripts, I wrote a small script which will provide me the status of the run, and I check here if I have a special vote in the list, and the special vote, it's defined in the parameters. Let me see exactly where. Get votes param, which is set up in environment. Where it is? Where it is? Get votes. Let me find it. I cannot find it. Get votes param is a variable, but where it is? I can't find it right now. I don't know why, but I defined it somewhere because it checks that this vote, which is set up as a parameter, this specific vote is found in the list. It's to be honest, I don't remember right now where I've set it up, but I will try to remember this and I will provide you this information. It should have been here. Okay, I will get back with it's in collection variables, but collection, okay, collection and variables here. Okay, sorry. So as you can see here in the collection, you can define other variables which are not global. The global variables are the ones which are defined here in the environment. This one are visible for all the collections. The ones which you are defining in at the collection level, they will not be seen in other collections, but just in the collection for which you have defined them. So here in the collection variables, I defined the ID of the vote, which I will check if it has been returned from the API in the API response. And once I run this get votes, as you can see here, I have all the information, and as the test results, it passed because the API runs correctly and the vote with the ID 31109 has been found in the list. This is an example for get. Of course, I have another one which gets a specific vote. So in this case, it will not. I will not be. I will not check all the votes, but only the specific one with the ID. I will send it as a parameter. So here in parameters, I will define the variable vote ID, and here is the link, the endpoint. The endpoint you will see here. This is the endpoint. So, for example, for also for that ones with the vote ID is the same. You will only have to copy the endpoint from here, and you will see the body and what you have to fill in as parameters here. Okay. Now we see until now we saw how to get the votes ID. And here we can see how to post a vote ID, how to post a vote. In this case, we will have the same link, the same endpoint base URL, but we will use the post vote option. Here, we will have to send the parameters in the body section, and the parameters used here are image ID, sub ID, and the value, whatever that means. I will put today date, and the value here, I don't know, 2025. Save it, and I will send the request. Here I have a script which will check if the API run correctly. Here I have the status 201, which will be returned. As I told you, the status codes with 2 are informing us that the run was successful. So if I click send, this is the response from the API. So I send the request to create a vote with the details here in the body, and the response was that the vote has been created successful and it received this ID. Of course, it also give me the details regarding the value, sub ID, the parameters which I have sent. Now, after I post the vote, if I will pick up the ID and I will get back to the get vote ID endpoint, and I will change the parameter here to find the one which I've just created, and I will click send. You see, I will receive the details for the vote which I've just created. Now, for testing and for checking the details, you can use these ones. Also, the API test site. I will send the link. Let me know. Is it okay if I will share it here? Right? You have access here to course QA. Can somebody confirm?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I will put the resources here. Here is the second set of APIs which I was using. This one is from Postman, and you can create a user, log in with the user, get the user info. Is the same approach which I've already shown you, but is different set of endpoints. This one is let me pick it up from the environments. This one is for the first set of the APIs. Let me see what we have there. Okay, okay, so here also you have the documentation and a lot of information. You can use them. Resources are here, but you will have to create an account if I'm right. This is for the cat API, and these ones are directly from Postman. And these ones: create user, login user, user info. No, this is the same. Just a second to see something. Yeah, it's the same from AV on. Just to see. It does not work. I don't know why. But here in Postman, you have the resources from the Learning Hub. You will see exactly here in Postman Docs. Docs. Here you will have a lot of resources, and you will see exactly how to install and how to configure the APIs. Of course, you can use API and integration, end-to-end testing, regression testing, and so on. In API network, here you will see that you will have a lot of examples of collections. Open API, artificial intelligence. You will be able to use a lot of APIs from here. You will just have to pick them up and to configure them on the Postman. Let's see if this one is here. You see, and it will also show you how to configure it and how to run it. Second, we wanted to search for something. I'll place this link there in the chat. With the public APIs. So let me see. Okay, now from here you can pick up, for example, for the beginning, and you can pick up to try to create a user and to sign in with that user. And you will have to do the following. First of all, create a user and install Postman. You see, this is the application. Then you will create your collection, new blank collection, for example, new collection. And here you will add a request. Now, this first request, I'll show you an example, is a get, for example. And let's see if I can do what? If I can log in with these credentials. Let's see if it will work. So first of all, I picked up the credential, but I had to pick up the endpoint. I place here the endpoint, and in the body, I will have to place the variables. I'm not sure if these credentials are working, of course, but let's give it a try. This one does not have a body. It has let me see. Cannot get sessions because I'm not authorized. And if I try basic authorization, it will pick up my credentials. It will not work. See, this is how this is the error you receive if it does not work. But let me check here. Okay, content type application, and in the body, it should work with this. No, it does not work. What if I place it here in authorization, but no. So I don't know if it works with that credentials because I've created my own user and I used base out the hash. And if I click send here, yeah, I see that I've logged in with this one. So my advice is the following: pick up these ones, create user, for example. You place these details here. Let's see if I'll try to create something else. And the password to be the same. Save. Let's check if it will create this user. No, it's already in use. I don't have any other email address. Can somebody help me with a try to see if you can install and create the user and let me know if it worked? I don't have any other email address because what you'll have to do is just to install Postman. Let me see if I can export them. Export. Okay, let's pick it up from here and let's put it here. Okay, so if you can download this collection, you will only have to import it here in collections. You have the option to import, create a blank connection, or to import it. Let me see how from here import. You will upload the file, and you will see that. Let's give it a try. File. This collection exists. Import as a copy. You see, and this is what you will have. What you will have there. Authorization. Okay, this is my password, but it's not. I'll change it. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions or if something was not very clear. As I told you, I'm not an expert to say so. I'm not very professional at APIs, but I've tried to share with you the details I had and the knowledge I managed to have. Please let me know if you have any questions. Can you hear me, or nobody has any question? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
So do you have any question?
I don't see anything. I don't see anything in the chat except a couple of no's.
Okay, in case of anything, let me know. You can send me an email. I've shared my address in the chat. I put it also here. And the learning basics for a postman are here also. I'll put here. And of course, in case of any questions, please just let me know. I will try to answer as soon as possible. Okay.
All right, thank you, Adrian. I think I'll stop the screen recording now, right?
Perfect. Perfect.